Los Angeles Rams are world champions. A Lombardi trophy for Los Angeles. The Los Angeles Rams are world champions. A Lombardi trophy for Los Angeles.
Blocked. And that was big Jared Verse. He's gone. He waved to the Falcons bench on his way for the touchdown. Rams are back in it, to say the least.
The Ramilia Sports Report is not filmed in front of a studio audience.
What is up, my Ramilia fans of the defending NFC West champion Los Angeles Rams, who took it on the chin today at Atlanta. Crazy game. The refs made their appearance known again, but it wasn't why we lost. They just added they added salt to the wound. So the Rams came out flat. And the Atlanta Falcons pounced on the Rams to the tune of 21-0 lead. Matthew Stafford was off, missing open guys. The Falcons, but tip my cap to the Falcons. The Falcons were the team that made the plays. The running back went off. I mean, they 93-yard touchdown run. The Rams were missing the right tackle, which is not a big deal, but we were also missing the left tackle. Larry Jackson, the starting left tackle and starting right tackle, but the left tackle is the key because the backup got penalties and took off 14 points. So we lost by 3. Unfortunately, the backup, who played okay, but had 2 horrible penalties. One of them, I don't think they should have called it on him because he just knocked the guy into the ground. They called him for holding, but that took off 14 points. The Puka Nacua deep play down the field, they called they called a penalty on him right there. That takes off 7, and then they were at the 2-yard line, and they moved him back, so they had to kick a field goal. But still, like I said, no team can beat us except for us. Turnovers, stupid penalties. The other team, Kirk Cousins was just gonna. He almost threw a pick a couple of times, one over the middle just to get rid of the ball because he was determined not to be sacked over and over again, a la Sam Darnold. So, but the Rams lost. Well, basically, today's game matters, but we all expect the Seahawks to beat the Niners at Santa Clara. Now, that's not a given because I don't trust Sam Darnold. But the Rams win in Arizona, which they should, and the Seahawks take care of the Niners on Saturday, which is a short week. The Rams still have the 5th seed, and the Niners are the 6th seed. All their blood, sweat, and tears, they're still the 6th seed. So it doesn't really matter. Even if we would have won today, the best we could do is a 5th seed. And so, but still, you don't want to lose. For the most part, it's a young team. We're towards the end of the season now. There's a lot of things that got to shore up. You still saw Quentin Lake on the bench, still healing up for the playoffs. Devontae Adams is still healing up for the playoffs. He's not out there. Larry Jackson didn't play. He's not out there. So the Rams are missing people, as a lot of teams are this time of year. But the main thing is we couldn't overcome a 21-point lead. Almost did. But when we came back and then Kirk Cousins is dealing. One of the Achilles heels of our defense is giving up plays right over the middle, because that's the first, you know, the fastest way to a straight line to the end from start to end is a straight line, is what I'm trying to say. And same thing with with if you got pressure in your face, if there's somebody right in front of you, you throw it to the middle of the field. That's why a lot of times balls get tipped up or balls get intercepted, because guys are looking for that, like the interception that Matthew Stafford got today. So that just goes without saying. Um, but but yeah, you're gonna have the Niner fans in here. They're talking smack. It's just one game. You listen. We should have won this game. We didn't, but still, after Saturday, the Seahawks beat the Niners. They're still going to be the 6th seed, and the Rams will be the 5th seed. It doesn't really matter. But still, it sucks that we did lose. We want to have everything rolling, and but yeah, the left tackle backup took away 14 points off the board with getting penalties, and then there was a play at the end, and like I just mentioned the rest because they're not going to give us that, especially after the Puka Nakua, talking about the refs, but they did grab Puka Nakua's. They did grab Tutu Atwell's arm, and that was pass interference. It wasn't the biggest version of pass interference, but they could have called it. Rams would have won, or Rams would have tied the game. But it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. The Rams will still be, even if they would have won today and they won next Sunday, the best they could do is a 5th seed. And so the Seahawks take care of business on Saturday. They'll still be the 5th seed. The Rams are able to arrest everybody. They should have won today, so that way they could arrest everybody the last game. That's the thing. But it's not a big deal. Let's get into the chat. It sucks, though, that we did lose. And it's funny, though, too, because, you have Brock Purdy, whose legs are fresh. What amazing, the guy who sat out 6 games injured to heal up. There's nothing he can do. He's healing up. Then comes back and plays some powder puffs. Hardly gets touched. And he's got fresh legs, and you can see it. He's quick anyway. He's very deceptive. He can move around and scramble. But you can see him running away from the defenders. He's got fresh legs, and the rest of the teams are beat up. You don't see other content creators mentioning that. Of course, you're not going to see the David Lombardis. I should go on Grant Cohn and say, Grant, you do realize that little Brock Purdy's got fresh legs right now. He's feeling really good he's feeling spry right now. And all the other teams are worn down towards the end of the season. They're beat up, and so he looks even quicker than he is. He is quick. And so, but he played really good in 2 back-to-back games. The Bears didn't have no pass rush at all until towards the end. And Caleb Williams basically had to take the team on his back. But yeah, so it's still, the Rams will still be the 5th seed most likely. Like, again, I don't trust Sam Darnold. The worst would be 6th seed. And we'll have our guys back: Quentin Lake, Witherspoon, Alaric Jackson, Devontae Adams. And so, but yeah, we should have won the division and they had the number 1 seed. We can blame ourselves. Michael says, disappointed in my Rams. Yeah, man, that goes without saying. Papa J. Rudy, you sound like you've been crying. No, I've not been crying, man. I've just been irritated. I'm just like, I tweeted out, I go, we can never do nothing easy. Now, I knew that the Falcons weren't going to lay down. Once they switched to Kirk Cousins, I saw it in advance that he's going to be a pain in the butt. He's going to get the ball out of his hands quick. He's been a veteran. And the main thing is I didn't expect was for our defense to regress and allow Robinson, even though he's one of the great running backs, very shifty, to get that 93-yard touchdown. If he didn't get that and we just held him to a field goal, because he didn't have another giant run like that. But he's a great running back. Players make plays. And so, but yeah, and then towards the end, Stafford missed a wide open Willie Bowen's guy, Xavier Smith, number 19, down the sidelines. Man, that would have been, if he would have threw him in on the number, he would have got into the end zone. We would have won that game. But that's what happens. Stockton says we need our offensive line and we need our offensive linemen and Adams back. We will be ready. Yep, we for sure. But we should have won this game even without them. But the penalties is what killed us. We make plays. Stafford gets that long pass to Tutu Atwell, and then we're right there on this 2-yard lines, and it pushes back. I think we kick a field goal. That's 14 points. I don't know about you, but you take 14 points off the board, and that's going to hurt. And but still, though, I tip my hat to the Falcons for they came and made the plays. That is what that is. Man, Stafford back hurting more now. Let's go home. That's the one good news is he's not hurt. But yeah, man, listen, I take my cap off to the Falcons. And like I said before, nobody can beat the Rams more than they can. And from not executing, turning the ball over, missing open receivers, having penalties that cost us points, all that good stuff. Stockton says, our Rams will go on a run. I feel it. Listen, I'm just irritated right now. I don't like the play calling and some of the play calls. Like, what are we doing out there? Okay, look, let me give you an example. And I love Sean McVay. He's my coach. Love him. Wouldn't change it for nobody. Beginning of the game, listen, who are we? We're, before this game, the favorite still in Vegas odds to win the Super Bowl, right? Who are the Falcons? Well, we played down to them, but the struggling team, they don't even have their drafted quarterback, journeyman quarterback, but who is dangerous because he's basically auditioning for other teams next season. You just got to get in his face and not let him, get in rhythm, keep him off balance. We didn't do that, but when it's 4th and inches, go for it, dude. This is why, and I'm telling you this, Stockton. This is why I say Matthew Stafford, as great as he is, and when you're playing a stout defense, or when the defense on the other team is playing really good, and it's hard for us, Matthew Stafford's Achilles heel is the quarterback sneak. Now, you would think that's an easy thing, but he's horrible at doing that. That's why we don't do that on 4th and inches, right? You would think he'd be okay, but he's not. He's horrible. He doesn't. Some guys just have a knack of getting underneath. He's horrible, and plus, you don't want nobody leaning on his back. This is why I wanted the Stetson Bennett plays, like the Taysom Hill plays, when it's 4th and 2, 4th and 1, 4th and inches. He can dive forward, or you can do a play where he drops back and kind of runs to the side, and Brock Purdy-esque because he's mobile. That'd be a nice mix-up on a defense that's not ready for it, and then that solves the Stafford not being mobile issue. Now, normally we don't need to do that, but there's certain situations it's nice to have that in your bag. We should have been pulling that out all year. I wish I could talk to Sean McVay and say, hey, man, we need to use Stetson Bennett in some Taysom Hill type plays. But because 4th and inches or in the playoffs, when you need a quarterback sneak, instead of handing the ball back to Kyrie Williams, where there was a play today where the guy just jumped in because Larry Jackson's not there, that partially helped. And they stopped us on 4th down. Like, quarterback sneak is the easiest way to get a first down, man. Even bring in Jimmy Garoppolo and have him get smashed at the line of scrimmage, and get that first down. The main thing is getting the first down and continue the plays. But like I said, no excuses. We lost to the Falcons. That's a horrible showing. We're stupid. And it doesn't end our playoff dreams and hopes and goals, but we most likely will still be the 5th seed. But it looks bad losing to a team like the Falcons. I'd rather have us being hot going into the playoffs. Manny says, you lost to Dirk Cousins. Yes, we did, man. But you saw he played pretty decent. Man. If it wasn't for Jared Verse getting that timely the timely block, nice to see our special teams started to do something. Imagine we fired the coach and now our special teams is blocking kicks. Falcon says, Manuel, we've been enjoying the Whiners gagging for 32 years in a row. Oh, there they go. 5 rings. Let's understand this about the 5 rings. See my hand. 5 rings, right? See how there's one left up? My pinky. There's only one Niners Super Bowl ring that they won post 93 free agency era. The rest of them was before the free agency full era, where teams couldn't backload players, backload contracts. Eddie DeBarlo Jr. only won one of those, and that's because the '94 team was already assembled. You know, they got Deion Sanders, and then after the '93 season, things changed. There was over 150 some odd players that changed teams and wanted more money. That doesn't mean the 5 Super Bowls go away, but it's a different era, a different time. You guys clearly can't win a Super Bowl since '94, so it's a little different now. So it's great of you to look back, look way back. But yeah, 5 rings. One of them is from the post free agency era, and none of them are during Santa Clara. Saugus Rams are still the best team in the playoff pool, still favored to win according to Vegas. Yeah, but like I said, we gotta we gotta play, we gotta execute, man. I mean, we played down to our opponent when we played the Niners, the beat up limping Niners at SoFi. We did the same thing. We sleptwalked, spotted them a lead. I forgot what it was, 21-7 or something like that. Came back. I knew we were going to come back against that team. And then, a Kyron Williams sock to the jaw fumble at the goal line later that was allowed to stand. They blocked an extra point. They won in overtime where we're missing our right tackle, our right tackle at that time again. But they deserved to win. And then we came out and gave them a belt to the ass spanking that it was so bad that Eddie Barrow Jr. felt that in his bed watching the game at Levi. Yeah, she said we have to root for Seattle to win. We can lock the 5th seed. Yep, that's exactly what I'm saying. It sucks that that's what we're looking towards, and the schedule's weird. Like, let's say we won out. Let's say we won 34-10, and we won the next game 42-7. Right? With this record and having the strength of schedule that we have, we should still be in the hunt. The way this formula is for the NFC West and the number 1 seed is crazy, man. But this didn't happen. But, I would be more salty if we would have won the next 2 games, have that great record with the strength of schedule, the toughest schedule in the NFC West, right? And we don't have a chance for the division to defend our division title, and also the number 1 seed. Like, that's crazy. Because it doesn't matter who we play. Rams will beat whoever is on our way. Yep. Well, that's the goal anyway. Even if you had the number 1 seed, yeah, you'd like it at SoFi. That'd be a lot better instead of the elements in Philadelphia. That's why we don't want the 6th seed. We'll let the Niners have that. All the smack talkers now, if they lose Saturday to Sam Darnold, wouldn't that be only fitting that Sam Darnold and the Niners beat Brock Purdy and the Niners against Kyle Shanahan? I mean, it's what the script writers know something. I mean, the Rams are still going to win the Super Bowl at Levi. They are going to. The next game against the Arizona Cardinals weren't going to do anything about it, but it depends on what the teams do in the playoffs. Playoffs? You're talking about playoffs? But wouldn't that be fitting for Sam Darnold to send the Santa Clara Niners at Levi, sending the Bang Bang Escalator gang down the escalators, and then they get eliminated by the Philadelphia Eagles in the snow? I mean, boy, you'd think Rombo was hiding before. Oh, boy, I tell you. Neil says, I'm really concerned the play calling is terrible, especially in the off. Yeah, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I really like Sean McVay, love Sean McVay. Great play calling in most of the games, but there's some situations like, what are we doing? Like, where's Jarquez Hunter? Okay, all of you guys saw, and I love Corum and I love Kyrie Williams, the 1-2 punch, right? Ronnie the Rivers runs deep, a veteran presence. Where's Jarquez Hunter? The man is a game breaker. The man can do like now he's not the Atlanta Falcons star running back, but he's got that type of speed. He can go to the house. But he needs reps to get comfortable in there, and we're not using him. Now, I know the coaches don't like to play rookies, but for me, I like to play the most dangerous weapons. That's why I would put a Stetson Bennett in there for some Taysom Hill plays. The guy's played in big games in college. You just tell him not to throw it away. He can use his mobility. He can dive forward for 5, 6, 7 yards, take off 12 yards, and he can throw the ball deep. He's got a gun. He's basically Brock Purdy, but with a bigger arm. Now, he would have to prove it consistently at the pro level, but I'm just talking about his skill set. And when it comes to mobility and making guys miss. Because I say we rest everyone next week. Yeah. The only thing is we got to win because I think that we have to win now because we lost this one. If the Niners were to lose, I think that we would still do the 6th seed. We have to win so that when they lose, they're the 5th seed. They're the 6th seed. Manny says, that's crazy you win for the Seahawks. I wish you guys would both lose. John says, you are hoping Seattle wins. We got to, man. We got to hope the Seattle wins because we don't want to go to Philadelphia if we don't need to. I'd rather play them. I'd rather play them at the end in the NFC Championship game. Let Devontae Adams get a game or two under his belt first. We have to. Stockton says, refs missed 2 huge pass interference. And I'm going to tell you this. I hate being one of those fans that and I have complained about the refs. I'm just across the board though, not just in the Rams games. They've been horrible this year. All you guys agree here, even Niner fans. The refs have been horrible. Not saying that we haven't gotten any calls too, right? That happens. But ever since that Puka Nakua podcast, we've been not getting calls and some calls. Like I said, in my last live, I want them to get the calls right, even if it's against my team. I want them to do that. But we all know that the referees have been horrible this year. That play against the Seahawks, 2 plays, but the one I'm talking about is the one that everybody knows about, the 2-point conversions where they pulled 2 points out of their ass, gave them to the Seahawks, that helped them tie the game, right? What I'm saying is this, be consistent. If you're going to be shitty all year in the play calling, not every game though, I'm not saying that, but a lot of times in big situations, then you're going to do that to the letter of the law. You're going to see that one. Even the guy on TV, I think the guy on TV goes, oh, the Terry guy. I think that's his name, Terry something or other. He saw it. And I'm like, he probably called down. That's why he called them and they got it. Yeah, don't miss this call. So, but besides that, then there was the took 7 points off the board. We had to kick a field goal where they called us against illegal man downfield, and it was like borderline. And the guys on TV were even saying, that really not. He's real. That's a borderline call. That's really not up the field. And another angle, it shows he kind of got shoved. But anyway, that's in the past. But I don't think we can expect to get calls anymore this year, man. That's just the way it's going to be, man. And honestly, everybody says it's us against the refs. Honestly, I think it is us against the refs this year now because of what happened with the podcast. Neil Gonzalez says if the Niners are the number 1 seed, what if the Niners are the number 1 seed, man, that'd be the craziest thing in the NFL. And it is a possibility if you guys beat the Seahawks. ESG says, I saw illegal hands to the face from the Falcons not being called. Yeah, man. There was another play call where in the Niner game, one of Brock Purdy's interceptions. Matter of fact, here you go. Hold on. One of Brock Purdy's interceptions that they took away, the Bears would have won. And this happens. It doesn't happen. It happens to all teams. Okay. That was not hands to the face, man. That was not hands to the face. Here, let me show you what play I'm talking about. Let me set this up for you. All right, ready? Here we go.
Back in the backfield on 3rd and goal. Purdy firing end zone, and it's intercepted. The Bears come up with yet another pick. However, there is a flag down. C.J. Gardner-Johnson comes up with the INT. Flag thrown at the 4-yard line.
Notice how he said that's another pick.
Preliminary indication is that it's against Chicago.
Use of hands to the face, defense number 35. This is a 5-yard penalty in first round, previous spot. Edmund, please, an automatic first round.
On Gardner-Johnson.
Let's take a look.
And Chris Collinsworth is going to back up his buddy Kyle Shanahan's team. He's on the shoulder.
Right up to the face mask, a little turn
He's
of the
on the
helmet,
shoulder,
whole thing,
Chris.
Well, it's not often the guy gets the foul and gets the interception too. So
Now that angle, it's hard to tell. So let's do another angle. Hold on. Let's see. Where is it at? There we go. Well, it's slowed down, basically. So that's basically the guy's shoulder hitting his face mask. It was nothing. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Player safety first. But Pearsall, the NASCAR driver, doesn't have the cachet to get calls like that. Now, a JSN, a Puka Nacua, even an Ayuk, those guys deserve to get calls like that. You can't be bailing out a guy like that who's a nobody. I mean, he's more known for being shot than what he's done in the NFL. He's an up-and-coming player. The guy can't put together 2 or 3 games in a row, but he doesn't deserve the cachet for that. That saved Brock Purdy. They ended up scoring 7 points on that play. And so that's what I'm saying. The refs have been horrible this year. You don't call that, man. That receiver does not deserve the cachet for that call. And of course, you had, and you know, I almost want to throw up when I hear when the Niners are playing and Chris Collinsworth, Kyle Shanahan's buddies on there, because he's going to be. He was talking about. I even tweeted. He was talking about the velocity of. He was talking about the velocity of Brock Purdy's passes, and I was like, "You got to be shitting me." I was getting something to drink, or getting more ice for my drink. And I heard, you got it. I looked at the team and what the fuck is this guy talking about? The more velocity. Man, get out of here, dude. Trying to push the Kyle Shanahan narrative over there. Stop it. Stockton says the Niners won't get a ring. That's all I care about. Yeah, they ain't. It's not this year either. Nope, not this year either. ESG says McVay said that he's going to play Stars next week. Yeah, we have to win that game. ESG says special teams, I must say, was improved. Exactly. We would never. Sometimes with the other coach, sometimes it's like we don't even go after the block kicks. We don't even try to block it. Neil says, if we are number five seed, do we get a home game? That's a good question. I think we'd be on the road all the way through. I'm not sure how that works, but because we'd be playing up. I think we'd be on the road all the way through. Yeah, we get a lower seed, but who's lower than us? That's gonna be they're gonna make it that far to us, right? I don't know. We'll see as we get closer after the end of the year. But that's a great question. I have to look that up. It's talking. So we get a home game if a lower seed beats a higher seed than us. Yep. So if there's that's right. I'm not really seeing that though. But if there's we never know if there's an upset. I agree with you, Luis. Lewis, your team dropped the ball big time. You losers from first to the. I agree with you. Not the losers part that we dropped the ball big time, man. We can just thank ourselves, letting a couple of games get away. Yeah, Von Poppin, he was. You saw the game. He got that 93 yards on one play. Our defense hasn't even given that up all year to great running backs. That was a horrible game. A horrible game to do it. Great. My hat goes off to him. It almost wasn't enough for them too. for the Falcons, I mean. I know if you're a Niner fan, you are talking about bad about anyone's defense. Yep. EHG says, "Bang bang Super Bowl delusion gang." I mean, they have a right to yell at it. I mean, you have a right to laugh at us because honestly, I didn't. Any team has a chance, even when we're down 21. Same thing with the Niner game. When we were losing to the Niners 21-7, we're going to come back. We're going to make a run, And but then when we scored and there was like a couple minutes left, I'm like, man, it's going to be hard to stop. They're going to just give the ball to the running back, and he gets like 6 yards a carry, and he's motivated too. They're at home. Yeah, she says Humphrey needs to be cut right away. He was just put in a tough spot, man. He's put in a tough spot. San Francisco 49er Brian, how you doing, Brian? Excuses? No, it's not excuses. I already said I tipped my cap to them. They won. There's no excuses to this game. We should have beat them. Stafford played horrible. Stafford missed guy. And listen, I know that you guys are going to be talking smack about Stafford, 3 interceptions. You guys know that Stafford normally doesn't have games like that. We had a lot of time off. They were doing a good job on Puka Nacua. And so it was tough sledding for a little bit. Our offense struggled, and that's where I was talking about the play calls. And plus Raheem Morris used to be the defensive coordinator, so they kind of ganged up in there and they slowed us down the first half, and then we got going. I mean, but like I said, that they beat us. There's no excuses. It's not our. Like I said before, though. The Rams are the main the Rams are their worst own enemy. When they lose a game, you could point to what they didn't do and what they didn't execute. Hold on, let me show you guys a box score real quick. The Rams had 0 sacks, and that's been a problem with this Rams defensive line. That's one thing that we're worried about as Ram fans is as good as the defensive line has been, they haven't been getting the sacks. They've been getting hurries, but they haven't been getting the sacks. Hold on. But the good news is we can fix it for the playoffs. We just got to play better, and because we know what this team is capable of, good and bad. We're looking forward. I mean, I didn't really think we were going to be missing Devontae Adams as much as we have been. He's a great player. He's an important cog in what we do. But honestly, we should have been able to take care of this team without him, and we could have if we didn't have the turnovers. Stafford wasn't giving them the ball. Hold on, I'm trying to find something here. Hold on. Do. Here we go. That's what I was looking for. All right, here we go. What a night. Too much time off, man. It's been it's been almost like a week and a half. It seems like. Hold on, share screen. All right. Box score. That's my knee. What happened? Hold on. There we go. Okay, box score. All right, look. You cannot. It doesn't matter who it is. You cannot spot a team. They got 7 in the first quarter, 14 in the second quarter, 21 points at halftime, right? We got zilch, nada. Okay. The Rams defense held, even with all the plays they did, the running back, everything. They got 6 points in the second half, a couple of field goals. The Rams, third quarter, flipped the switch, 17 points, then scored the tying touchdown in the fourth quarter to score 24 points. Where was that in the first half? This is what I'm talking about. The Rams should at least have 1 or 2 touchdowns in the first half, period. Every game with that team, even without Devontae Adams and with these running backs. Now, again, we're missing our left and right tackle. The main thing is our left tackle, Alaric Jackson. He's very important. The right tackle we can get away with for short periods of time and for a game here and there, but that's just crazy to give another team 21 points, man. And we almost came. It would have been the biggest comeback since the Falcons lost the Super Bowl. I got a kick out of that one. John says Rams will go to Chicago and lose in the Windy City. Anything's possible, man, but I don't think we would. Doctor says I'd rather have you blocking instead of Humphrey. There you go. I can write some plays for ESG says I can write some plays for McVay that include Puna Ford as fullback. Stockton says we need more creativity and offense. Yeah, man. I mean, I keep going back to it, man. I would love to see Stetson Bennett and some Taysom Hill plays. That's just one part of it. It just adds a new wrinkle. Especially when you need to do quarterback sneaks and stuff like that, or it's third and short. The good news is Terrence Ferguson was starting to go off a little bit. Unfortunately, nothing happened in the first half. Nothing happened in the first half. That's the most unfortunate thing. Here we go. Here's Stafford to Ferguson.
And you start losing starters, it impacts you.
Stafford protected. He's got a man and a diving catch by Terrence Ferguson. They're going to call him down. The ball came out, and the rookie tight end who they love from Oregon.
And I'm going to tell you, I thought that was a fumble. That was a quick-ass whistle. Great play. But, Ferguson should have been able to get up. Let me double-check that again.
And you start losing starters, it impacts you.
Stafford protected. He's got a man and a diving catch by Terrence Ferguson.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if anybody touched him.
They're going to call him down. The ball came out, and the rookie tight end who they love from Oregon.
But that kid number 18, he's going to be something else for us. John says, I was actually going for the Seahawks yesterday because that eliminated LA from having a top seed. You son of a gun. Yeah, the hook and ladder play. Man, that was a great play call for Chicago. It just Demo happened to be standing right in the way. Why wasn't he guarding somebody? He's always talking smack on Twitter. You see how some teams do. Yep. Jesus. The Niner fanboys have been coping for 32 years. It's been a long time. It's been a long time coming. G12, what's up, Rudy? Man, what a game. Got to take your hat. Got to get your takes on this. It was horrible. It was nerve-wracking. It was frustrating. I've seen it before, G12, unfortunately. I tweeted out too. Why can't we do things easy? We play down to our competition. Yeah, she says they got poor Rambo thinking the Niners are going to win the Super Bowl, not realize that it's bad for his high blood pressure. Oh, man. Poor Rambo. You know what? I'm going to say this. At least he's able to enjoy the season right now because it's going to be horrible for him when we're at Levi winning the Super Bowl. Stockton says, my confidence has not wavered. We are the best team in the playoff pool. We will run the table. Yep, I agree as well. John says, you don't have the authority to define what is in the modern era. I mean, it's not me defining it. Okay, look. Look it up. Type in 93 full free agency era. That's when the full salary cap, the rules changed, everything changed. All the Super Bowls that were won before them weren't run under those rules. That's not me. That's not me defining it or whatever, having authority. That's just facts. Okay, and then we also add in the modern era. You know, when Eddie DeBartolo Jr., by the way, they won those 5 Super Bowls with a Rams team whose owner passed away. The wife took over. The other teams were the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons. So, congratulations for having for having success in that division where the Rams owner passed away. The wife took over for a few years. She had some hard times. He died in 79. The 49ers won their first Super Bowl. The first time they had ever won a championship was in 1981. What a coincidence. The Rams owner passed away. The wife takes over. And 2 years later, the Niners won the Super Bowl with the Rams 79 Super Bowl against the Steelers, starting middle linebacker Hacksaw Reynolds and Wendell Tyler. 2 Ram stars from the 79 Super Bowl. They needed Rams to win the first Super Bowl. Look it up. I'm the only Rams content creator that can harken back and tell you guys those facts. And you guys are like, oh shit, he's right. This dude knows his shit. I'm the only Rams content creator that can just off the top of my head just tell you how your team has been successful, why they've been successful, and how they're not been successful now. Because the Niners left their championship heart in San Francisco years ago. They didn't bring it across the train with them to Santa Clara, clearly. Yeah, she says, the last time the Niners won a Super Bowl, Rambo was a track star. I wonder if he was in track. I thought he had said something. He did something athletic. Just as any season post-merger is defined as Super Bowl era. It's a Super Bowl era, yes, but the modern free agency era are 2 different things. By the way, pre-Super Bowl era, how many championships did the Niners win? Nothing. They didn't win pre-Super Bowl era NFL championships, and they didn't win. They won 1 because they had the team from '94, but they got 1 Super Bowl post-free agency era. They got 5 total, but 4 of them came before the free agency era started. which just means that's just the fact. It's a little tougher to backload great players and have a lot of depth. Yes, she says when Rumble celebrates a touchdown, he carefully gets out of a chair, breaks a hip. Jamie says Rumble had an afro and parachute pants on. Oh boy, poor Rumble. G12 says Rudy, yes. Was going to ask you, was this a case of the Rams just being rusty, or where a team runs heavy with at least a decent running back, which Bijan was one of the best in the league? No, honestly, G12, it's happened all year. We come out flat against certain teams that we're favored against, and it was a case of we fell behind by too much. Bijan is one of the best running backs, and he got that one play for 93 yards, and he was very successful the whole game. The second half, they shut him down a little bit more. They did a great job on Puka. One of the we also had 14 points taken off the board because of our backup left tackle filling in for starting Larry Jackson. Had two big penalties when we got touchdowns. Or one was a touchdown, the Puka Nacua deep pass, and when we were at the 2-yard line, it moved us back. We had to kick a field goal. So 14 points is hard to overcome, besides having turnovers. I like this from John, even though it's against us. Hold on. I rest in peace, Dennis Green. The Rams are who we thought they were. Yeah, man. Listen, as a Ram fan, this has happened to us before, man. We played down to our competition for whatever reason, but they won. That's all we can say. Stockton says, Rams are your daddy, John. Yeah, she says, Kyle's nervous. He knows that the clock will strike 12 soon. Doctor says, you can't win a Super Bowl being the worst defense in the NFL. Yeah, she says, I can't believe even Grant Cohn is talking about a possible Super Bowl run. I considered him level-headed. He's trolling him, man. Don't fall for it. He's trolling him. He's getting him all hyped up, and then just to let him. He's like a Stephen A. Smith. That's why I like Grant Cohn so much. He even tweeted something about Matthew Stafford, about Jimmy Garoppolo can do 80% of what Stafford can do for a fraction of the cost. And I go, hold on there, Grant. Love you, brother, but you can't put Brock Purdy stuff on Matthew Stafford. He's an all-time great and Super Bowl champion who can take over a playoff game, unlike Purdy, something like that. But he's just trolling the Niner fans, man. It's amazing. I appreciate Grant Cohn because he gives his opinion, and he says it tongue in cheek, and he slams them, slams Purdy, slams Kyle Shanahan, which I love. Whenever I go on his show, we just tag team and go after him. And he still has all those followers that listen to him, smack him. I love it. Stockton says, we can beat anyone. Yes, we can, including ourselves, unfortunately. Belly says, third place, Rams, green face. Yep, right now. After Saturday, we win against the Cards. The Bang Bang third place gang will be back. Belly, 1994 losers, Stockton says. At least, ESG says, at least get a big lead in the first half so we can take out the starters in the second half. I've been saying that all year against the Cardinals. Yep. Chris says, Niners sending you to Philly. I'm going to say this. I hope not. Chris, we all Philly, man. We all Philly. It sucks that we'd have to play in the snow, but we played great last year. And now we have, well, I'm going to say this. Before this game, we had a better defense against the run than we did last year. We didn't give up those big runs like today, like that big run today. Yeah, she says if we win as a fifth seed, I'm pretty sure we'll probably face Seattle in the second round. Bring it on. Bring it on. Ishii says this year has been the worst of refereeing I've ever seen. It's been horrible, man. Forget about our games. I'm just saying across. That's why I say across. That's why I'm saying, oh, now they're gonna get the letter of the law right with us. The guy on TV even saying, hey, that was a backward pass. Ding, 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 ding. Here he is right here. That was a backward pass there. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, New York. Yeah, remember what Puka said? Yeah, call that. Now you're going to get it right. Really? G12 says, Rudy, can you give us your Rams stock down from this game? This game is a weird game because you're missing Devontae Adams. No Tyler Higbee, which I don't want to say that we didn't need him, but he's a veteran tight end. You're missing your right tackle, who the backup tackle has played better. So it's a weird situation there, but our left tackle was the key there. Stafford's backside. Hold on. And hold on. Okay. And Devontae Adams is not there. Tyler Higbee, left tackle. They did a great job on Puka. Stafford throwing picks. If Stafford didn't throw those picks, we win the game. It was just a weird game. Glock Purdy. Oh God, that man. John says, by the way, the free agency era started after 1987 NFL strike. Okay, let's get into that real quick. Free agency era, 1987 strike season, which gave the Niners 89. The full free agency era, the Reggie White free agency era, which they called it when he went from the Eagles to the Packers, I think it was. Where they also had a hard salary cap. The 93 free agency era, full free agency era. John says that's still more than Super Bowls in the Rams, more than the Rams. Yeah, but okay, that's fine, but it's not a contest of who has the more Super Bowls. It's if he won them recently. The Rams have won the last two Super Bowls between these two franchises. And remember, I told you that the Rams owner had passed away. The lady who was his wife had the Niners were winning the Super Bowls. His wife was the Rams owner. So give us a little bit of a break. It took her some time to get things going, and then the Greatest Show on Turf came. We got a Super Bowl. She moved the Rams to St. Louis, her hometown. But, that's great. You got 5 Super Bowls, but that doesn't help you now. I don't understand we got 5 Super Bowls. Those 5 Super Bowls didn't help you in the NFC Championship game in 2021. It's nice to have them. Basically, the Santa Clara Niners are Marvis Frazier, and the San Francisco Niners, Eddie DeBartolo Jr.'s Niners, are Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier Niners, Eddie DeBartolo Jr., winning championships. And then you have Marvis Frazier, the Santa Clara Niners, who can't win any. To give you an idea. There, that's the easiest way I can example it. Like if Larry Bird had a son and he named him Larry Bird Jr., you guys are Larry Bird Jr. Eddie DeBartolo Jr. Niners would be Larry Bird. She says, when the Rams have all their stars, we're the least penalized team. That is a fact. G-Toss says, Rudy, patterns and trends. Do you think the Rams peaked too early? how much does this Rams losing streak concern you? Well, it is 2 in a row, but the game, we could have easily won the game against Seattle. And but yeah, I wouldn't say peak too early. We're just having we just play. We're just continuing the pattern of playing up to our competition when it comes to being over favored. When we're favored pretty big over a team, this is how we play for some reason in the regular season at least. Hammer Time says, "What's up, Ramelia? I'm calling BS. Obviously, terrible calls against our team. So much holding on Atlanta. You might as well hand them the victory in the first quarter." Yeah, like I said, we're not going to get calls since the podcast, but we shouldn't need them against this team. Stocker says, "Chris, stop spamming or get it in timeout. You're going to time you out." Hammer Time says, "When you're the favorite, all the bets are against you. All the bets are against you. House rules." Yep. Stockton says, "It's going to be hilarious watching the Winer fans get disappointed for the 32nd time in a row. They're used to it." Val Roma says, "The Stafford is washed. Rudy, you're lucky he has 2 years left." Come on, man. Listen, it's one thing to talk smack, but you know damn well Matthew Stafford ain't washed. No, actually, you would think that, John, but he's a big Kyle Shanahan. He's a buddy of Kyle Shanahan's. You would think that, but no, he's gotten over that because this Niner team has nothing to do with that team. Remember, they're in Santa Clara now. That team does not resemble anything of Eddie DeBartolo Jr.'s Super Bowl teams. Only in matter of fact, it's so bad in Santa Clara that they have to cosplay as the 94. They wear the 94 throwbacks. They look like cosplayer. They're a fraud. I even tweeted that to Larry Kruger. I was like, "Larry, unfortunately, those uniforms belong to the Super Bowl champions. These Niners have to cosplay." Oh, God bless them. God bless them. G-Tron says, "Rudy, and that is crazy. Puka can't seem to get a call when in the rare case he raises his hands for it. The penalty he got versus the Rams still irks me, taunting." Yeah, he went like this, flexing after first down. They called him taunting. That's why he went off on him, but you can't do that, young fella. Louis says, "Keep talking, Rudy. All of your predictions have been wrong so far on the Niners." Yeah, I said you guys might not make the playoffs. I said that we were going to sweep you. So yeah, you are right. But the main one is that you guys are going to get eliminated in the playoff. Well, I didn't think you guys were going to make the playoffs. I said we're going to sweep you. So yeah, you are correct on that for this year. But I'll take the one that I hopefully will be right on, is the Rams win the Super Bowl at Levi. John says, "No home game for WC unless you go unless you play for wild. No home game for wild card unless you play Green Bay." Steve was tired. He says, "Bang." What is that movie where is it let's see, is it Step Brothers, when the guy when one of the sidekick guy goes pow. He just only says it's pow. The one guy is saying stuff and then he goes pow. That's what that reminded me of. Bang.
Downfield.
Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Wrong button. But yeah, I Niner fans, honestly, I am irritated that we lost this game. We've lost a couple of games this year. The Carolina game, the game against you guys, this game. We got lucky against the Colts because the guy fumbled the ball in the end zone. He shouldn't have fumbled. The Eagles were lucky that they blocked 2 of our kicks, but that we ended up getting rid of the kicker because he was having issues. been a weird season, man. But yeah, I'm irritated that we lost this game. Unfortunately, it couldn't have helped us. It would have helped us. We probably could have we could have rested our starters in the last game because we wouldn't have been in any better shape. The fifth seed, if the seed, it sucks that it comes down to we're having to trust Sam Darnold to come through for us. I don't want to be in that situation. Never. Yes, she says right now 6 and 7 are the Niners and the Packers. Val says Rams lost to the Falcons. Rams are falling apart. Right now we are because we're missing our left tackle, our right tackle, no Devontae Adams. And we almost lost Blake Corum. He's going to be sore. He probably will sit out next game. We'll see. Joe St. Louis 69 says I'm pissed at the ref. Few calls wasn't missed. They just didn't call them. That's what I'm saying, Joe. We're not going to get calls in the rest of this year, man. We ain't going to get them. Yeah, she says the Bears got lucky being Green Bay, so if the Bears end up with the 2 seed, that might play the Packers in the first round. That'd be a good game. Yeah, she says Niners have Niners have had 31 years of excuses. That's what we should do. We should call up a Niner fan and ask him for what's a good excuse. You got a lot of excuses, Rombo. What's a good excuse now? One Kelly Ram says, "What's up, me Ramilia? We good. Everyone forgets November when we took out the pew pew crew. Yeah, it was belt to the ass Sunday." G12 says, "Rudy, and that's crazy. Puka can't seem to get a call when I'm in the rare case. In the rare case, he raises his hands up for the penalty he got. He goes, irks me, taunting. Yes, indeed, please. Yep. Joe says Puka should have. Yeah, he should have. That's a young fella not knowing how it works. You don't want to cause any issue. He was just. I'm going to say this too. No excuses. You can't do that, especially in a public podcast. And these guys were knuckleheads, man. They got him to do that stupid thing like this, that bullshit thing that he didn't know that what it represented. And the guys go, "I'm Jewish." Yeah, but Puka's not, dude. You got him in trouble. That was stupid that you did that to him. So now they're going to make him say, "Be careful who you go on with," which he should have did anyway. But he's a trusting, cool, nice dude. Anyway, you can't do that. Even though it was tongue in cheek, he was joking around, like talking again amongst buddies. But it's in a public thing, But yeah, you can't. So Joe says Puka should have kept his opinion, or we'd have gotten those calls by the refs. Yeah, you never know, man. Joe says Atwell was being held big time. The ref was being held big time, and ref knucklehead didn't want to call it. Yeah, man. And finally, Tutu Atwell gets out there too, right? But we only use him at the end. Now, Papa says, and they rule. Yeah, that's another thing. That's another thing. I mean, we're still gonna have a good pick, but by us not be helping ourselves beating the Falcons, we gave them another win. Yep. That's one of the things that irritated me. John says wrong. Adval was wrong. LA and Green Bay are 6 and 7 seed respectively. Soccer says, yeah, I went from 9 to 11. She says, yeah, I know it's C, sometimes voice text. Yeah, we understand what you're saying anyway. Joe says, I can't get over it knowing we came back hard. I'm so pissed at the ref. I want to know something. I want to throw something at them. I'm just venting. Oh, I understand, man. It's frustrating. But honestly, look, we can't expect for them to give us a call, even if they're on the up and up. Well, I'll say it this way. I don't mean that. Even if they're not mad at Puka, they're supposed to be professionals. I don't want to say that, but there's some eyebrow raising stuff. Like what? But it goes all the way back. Remember in Detroit when they grabbed Puka's jersey and we were coming back to win in the playoffs, they didn't give us the call either, and he was coming off of an all-time record-breaking rookie year, and that was before anything. That's why he's kind of fed up with them too. Stockton says, fun, nobody's coping. The season is over. Isn't over. That's when you will be coping. The Rams don't says we're still going to win the whole enchilado. That's what that plan is, baby. We need Devontae Adams for sure, baby. For sure. Joe St. Louis says Verse was a beast blocking and running the back with a piece at the he knew he had the touchdown. The guy's amazing, man. He all the guys that were saying, "Hey, you don't have the stats this year." Hey, listen, he's a beast. He's going to help us in the playoffs. Here he goes. Here he goes. Here he goes.
Blocked. And that was big Jared Verse. He's gone. He waved to the Falcons bench on his way for the touchdown. Rams are back in it, to say the least.
They sure are. That's exactly.
He hands the ball to the fan right there, right? I love it. Rams John says, F the whiners. Val Ramos says, McVay will leave when Stafford retires. We will see. We will see. You never know. Maybe so. We'll see. Bro says, I'm so depressed, Rudy. How you doing, brother? I'm so pissed, brother. No, listen, I'm irritated too. We let another game get away. This is what we do. We play down to our competition, then we come roaring back. Fall short. No, I'm irritated. But I do understand this, that and forget about excuses. I'm just giving you some facts. We lost the game. The Falcons deserve it. Left tackle missing, Larry Jackson. That was the biggest one. Took off 14 points with the backup getting penalties at the wrong time. Stafford was off his game. Missing guys that are open. Overthrowing another guy getting picked 3 times. And so, but why are we not running more, though? Why are we not running more? Why didn't I have creative running plays? I know that we're missing left tackle and right tackle, but there's ways. I mean, bring in 2 tight ends to block and pull them like you would an O-lineman. Ramsdon says, we get more birds next week. Yep. Burrow says, I'm so pissed, just so frustrated with the Rams right now. Yeah, I understand it. Ramsdon says, bang man these nuts, gang. Love it. Ramsdon says, VHS era. Yeah, she says, the last time the 49ers won a Super Bowl, Bill Clinton didn't have any relations with that woman. I didn't have any relations with that woman. Let's see. Tucker says, if we lose the Cardinals, I'm done watching football until next year. Even if we lose to the Falcons, okay, I'm not going to say this. Even if we lost to the Falcons, the season's still not over. That's still the regular season. We're I honestly, I couldn't imagine that we're going to lose to the Falcons, but all right, let's see. Here we go.
2 in the red zone, trying to score touchdowns. How about Nakua? He says, not anymore. Touchdown, Rams.
And then this is cool before the game. Seeing the Vermillion in the stands, give him the respect. Love to see it. And then here's Stafford and Ferguson again.
Is going to need it, and they will have earned it.
Stafford's got a man. He's got a touchdown, the rookie Ferguson. And Matthew.
And I said this before. Ferguson is in Sean McVay's offense. When we finally unleash him and he starts getting more and more confidence and comfortable in the offense, he's our George Kittle, meaning he's a guy that can stretch the field as a tight end. He's got good hands. He's got good speed. He can do stuff like that as a tight end. And there's no other George Kittle. He's an all-time great tight end. But in the offense that Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan run, he can be that big a weapon. And so hopefully in the playoffs, he'll just keep blossoming like that. And I just say that because the way they use George Kittle, that's how we want to use this young fella. Ramsdon says three straight Super Bowl losers: Santa Clara, San Jose, by the way of Castro, Square 94ers of Sacramento and Oakland. Yeah, they got 5. They're trying to catch up. They want to be the first 5-5. The quest for 4 Super Bowl losses in a row. Joe says, I hope the Seahawks beat the Niners. I'm not rooting for the Seahawks. I'm just saying because I don't want. There's no way around it, though, Joe. We have to for one game say that we're rooting for the Seahawks. Well, you don't have to say it, but that's what we want to happen. Itchy says, LOL. John, you're crashing out. Don says, Mayday, Mayday, John is crashing out. Don says, bang, bang, F the Niners. Oh, yeah, she says, Niners, even Seattle has more Super Bowls than you in the modern era. Oh. This is a great comment. Can you imagine if the Lakers only were good in the 80s and never won after that? And Rambo's a Laker fan. Oh, God bless you, Rambo. I'm sorry, man. That'd be like Kobe and Shaq never won a championship, and they Kobe, you guys have won a lot of championships. Yeah, we Magic and Kareem won a bunch of them. Oh, but we didn't win any. That'd be like that. Amy says, PI no call gonna haunt the Rams. That's what happens when you call out the refs. Yep, that's exactly right. That's gonna kill us. We can't expect to get any calls. Jim Harris says, we will be the 5th seed. Yep, I believe that too. Seahawks will cook the Niners. I'm expecting that too. Rams will beat Arizona. Yep. The Rams, John says, we're still the best team in the league. Yes, indeed. We didn't show it today, though, but we are. Imagine that, Seattle versus Rams, the NFC Championship game. Love it. Yep, I agree. Jim Everett. Tutu Atwell was a PI. Tutu Atwell PI was real, but we had no business trailing exactly by 21 points too. Rams John says worldwide Rams. Love it. Jim Everett says, Rudy, we still going to face Seattle in the NFC Championship game. I don't even care who we face. We just got to get there so we can win that Super Bowl. Hope Lake and Adams will be back. They'll be back for the playoffs. Q might be back for the. We'll see about him for a tune-up for the Cards game. A lose game. Yep. If Puka was a superhero, his superhero would be he wasn't he didn't do that. Those guys got him to do something he didn't even know what it was. Jim Harris says, we will smoke the 29ers and their defense's ass. Rams Johnson Humphreys, boy. Humphreys sucks. Jim Harris says, 29ers going to lose to Seattle. Rams Johnson, that was AD's final game. Yes, indeed. Rams Johnson says, tomorrow's Punch the Winers fight Tuesday. Robert Clinton says, I still believe. Yeah, well, listen, this is a bad game. We're going to be the 5th seed most likely. Seattle takes care of business. We'll have all of our guys for the playoffs. Don't worry. Ramazan says, you can't spell Ramos without Rams. Jameer says, Rudy Rams still going to the NFC title game versus Seattle. Yes, indeed. Jim says, we get Lake, Higbee, Adams back. Yup. Jameer says, 49ers offensive line is atrocious and their defense is ass. The 49ers offensive line has been horrible, but they have been protecting Purdy, and he gets rid of the ball quick. But we will see when they play a good pass rush. Ramshaw says, no more highlights, Rudy. It's too early. It's too soon. Burrow says, thank you, Rudy. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. Much love, Amelia. Let's go, Rams. Yes, indeed. Thank you, man. Jim says, Arizona will lose to the Rams. Seahawks will beat the Niners. Rams will have the 5th seed. Yes, indeed. Just like if they would have won today. Hammer Time says, 49ers, Niners got the cheese schedule. Nobody mentions that. Yep. And they'll say, well, because we were injured. Well, yeah, you were injured, but it also helps that you guys had Mac and Cheese Jones. I'm going to show you guys a clip. I don't remember if I showed this on any of my lives. We talk about the Seahawks game. It got away, and we told you before on my live how Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp are like brothers. They love each other. And this was just a touchy clip. For some reason, Cooper Kupp didn't see Matthew Stafford on the field after the game, and so he went and hunted him down in the tunnel. And and Cooper Kupp is always will be a Ram. He works out with Puka Nacua and the guys in the offseason. They keep in touch. But this is a touching video, and I just wanted to bring it to you guys again. It has nothing to do with today's game, but just thought it was cool to look at. Check this out.
Comes home against Arizona, Seattle, 2 on theirs, Kupp and Stafford. Of course, the two of them made some magic.
So, that's just, that's what it means to be in the battles and trenches with your quarterback and receivers and your other players to win a Super Bowl. And unfortunately, Cooper Kupp's not on the Rams no more, but we still have the Glock 9. And today wasn't his best days, but he's had a great year all year, man. And almost brought us back. If they didn't take away the damn 14 points from us, but whatever. It is what it is. ESG says the first round of the playoffs is always Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Which of these days do we prefer the Rams play? I'll take Monday. Jared says, Purdy throwing versus man coverage Sunday. That's Purdy's weakness. He can't make the tight window throws. Yeah. Speaking of Brock Dirty, he had a great game, man. All this and that. But he threw 2 picks. They took one away from him. But here's the other one.
Had to go quick with the play clock running down. He did. It's a boot. Purdy.
Oh, wait. That's not the pick. Hold on. That was the shake and bake play that I wanted to give him credit for before the Rams lost. But that was a really cool scrambling play that he got. This is the one that I wanted to show you. Here we go. The first pick.
Tonight against Indianapolis. Purdy to the air right away. They jumped around. It's picked off. The Bears have it. T.J. Edwards inside the 10 to the end zone. Touchdown Chicago on the opening play.
How crazy the narrative would have been. That was one pick where they got a pick 6. And then later on, he threw a second pick, which I showed you earlier. But a hands to the face call against Pearsall, who doesn't have the cachet to get a call like that. It was borderline. The guy touched him here. His face mask is here, and they called it. And that took away the pick, and the Niners ended up getting 7 points from it. They ended up winning the game on that. Advertise says Rams trade primetime wins for Super Bowl victories. Let's effing go. Yes, indeed. Rams Don says Big Wit and Stafford have said that Cup stinks. Cup's not the same player. He's not the same player he was. Jim says Rams are not at full strength. They will be in the playoffs. Vegas still has Rams as favorites. Yep. But yeah, I give Brock Purdy that one play where he was shaking and baking. That was a great play. He's got the mobility. I give him that. I've never said he didn't have mobility. I just said he has a noodle arm. And if you hit him enough, he'll start throwing picks. Tight window, pick six and highlight. Yes, indeed. Jim Harris says Bears defense is ass too. Rams will beat the Bears. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really, listen, if the Rams are playing on their game, doing what they're supposed to, not turn the ball over, and we have all of our guys out there, we'll beat anybody. She says D-Mac and Travis Rogers are going to be Debbie Downer somewhere. Yeah, they will be. It's okay. We are too. We're down on the Rams right now because of losing to this team. But it's still the best we could have done, even if we would have won, is a 5th seed, and we're still going to get it after Seattle wins. I don't think they're going to lose against the Niners. But if they did, that's even a bigger obstacle for the Seahawks, losing to the Niners, getting swept by these Niners. Imagine getting swept by these Niners, and then you have the guys all over Twitter, the Seahawks fans, talking smack. You even had Niner fans and Seahawks fans trying to laugh at us and like at their partners. Like, get out of here. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Love each one of you guys. I'm going to call it a night. It was a tough game, whatever. But as long as the Seahawks win on Saturday, we're still the 5th seed, and we're still where we need to be. We'll get Devontae Adams back, Higbee back, Larry Jackson, and so there you go, baby. All right, guys. We'll talk to you guys soon. As we always say, may the Ramilia be with you. And Romulators, mount up. We'll see you guys Wednesday night.